Hey guys, Hello Bella here, and today we're going to talk about Vyvanse. This is a medication that I have been on for 6 months now, and I want to talk to you about the challenges of it, the benefits of it, basically tell you my overall experience. This is the first time in my life that I've been put on ADHD medicine, and I'm 30. So when I got my diagnosis, it really was validating to me to realize why I have so much trouble with things. We're going to get into kind of how my life has changed, how I manage the energy that I have now, and some strategies that you can employ to basically make the medicine function for you. It is a strong medicine, and it is something that you have to find the right doctor to even be willing to give it to you. But I do think if you truly have ADHD and you have the energy problems that I had and the focus problems, then this would probably help you. So not to be depressing, but pretty much my entire life, I was like, why is everything so hard? I'm self-employed. I never got a job. I just built a business around my ADHD. Did not know that at the time, but I was very resistant to do something that was routine, same thing every day. Very, very boring to my brain, because my brain likes to be like, ooh, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. And so it was really something that I kind of suspected for a while, but when I got that confirmation, I was like, okay, everything kind of makes a little bit more sense. The hardest thing for me before being on the medicine was I've really struggled with my energy levels for a lot of my life, and I thought part of it might be hormone related, but now I think it was a dopamine issue. I don't nap anymore. I had to take naps frequently all through my early 20s, and I would get a full night's sleep, but I would still feel like I didn't have enough energy. And so with the Vyvanse, obviously it gives you energy and it gives you enough to sustain yourself throughout the day. Vyvanse is a longer acting medication, so I believe it works for around 14 hours, so it's crucial that you take it as soon as you wake up. I would say if you're the person who scrolls on their phone in the morning, I would keep it in my nightstand. That way you can wake up, take it, do your doom scrolling, and then when you're ready to get up about 30 to 45 minutes later, it will have kicked in. I can definitely still feel when it kicks in. It's like a part of my brain turns on that is not normally on. I do feel like it's allowed me to make some significant changes in my life, and it's really kind of just got me out of a funk that I've been in for years, and it's gave me confidence, and it's just had so many overwhelmingly positive effects. So the dose I'm on is 40 milligrams. I started out at the standard dose of 30 milligrams, and with that dose I kind of stayed on that, I believe, for about 4 months, and I just got moved up to the 40. So you'll notice when you need to move up, because it'll kind of start wearing off. I think the 40 is maybe the sweet spot for me, because it's giving me the energy that I need, but not making me not feel like I can go to sleep at night. That was one of the hardest things, is the first couple weeks, you're going to have so much energy, you're not going to want to sleep. You're going to finally feel like you can do all the stuff that you always wanted to do. And it's a very exciting time, because my brain usually only is able to access negative emotions. I was always depressed. I've had depression since I was 13, and I didn't really have a root. I did have trauma, but it was I just felt so low all the time, and I just did not understand why. You're gonna feel a lot different than you normally feel, obviously, but hopefully that will level off. There's still times where I get a little bit jittery, and I have to be like, did you eat? Because that's something that it really does. It suppresses your appetite. They actually give it to people for binge eating disorder. I actually asked a doctor to give it to me for binge eating disorder. They refused, and that was a couple years ago, and I've since started taking Ozempic, and then I was on Ozempic for about 2.5 years, and I'm still taking that, just kind of cutting the dose down a little bit. But I have no issues around food cravings now, and it seems like I've been able to manage my weight even better with the ADHD medicine than it was with the Ozempic. The Ozempic definitely worked, but I feel like if I had this to begin with, maybe I wouldn't have needed that. I always had problems around food, and I was overweight for my entire life, and I don't have that compulsion to eat out of trying to find comfort and dopamine. So that's something that's been really positive for me. I can prioritize better without jumping from one thing to the other, to another, to another. I run multiple businesses, and so sometimes I just feel so scattered, and I feel like my energy would just kind of like get diverted into things that weren't necessarily important. So I've really tried to like dial down the unnecessary activities. I've actually even made like keyboard shortcuts, which is something that just is so not a thing I would have done before, because I would have been like, oh my God, that's gonna take so long. That's gonna be like, you have to learn something new. It's just gonna be like a hassle. Even though I knew it would benefit me and even save me time and hassle in the long run, like the overwhelmingness of the task basically kept me from doing it. And so I've noticed now that I'm able to understand that like you can break things down into bite-sized pieces. You don't have to think about the whole entire project at the beginning of the project. You can just do like the first thing. It's allowed me to access those feelings of like, you know, self-confidence, a lot more motivated. I sat down today and I wrote out like my February goals, and they are so detailed. This is the first time that I've really sat down and thought long and hard about my monthly goals. Last month I did do my goals, but I just felt like, I don't know, something was missing. And so I'm able to kind of see like, okay, I think I need to tweak this, or I need to do something a little different. And so I'm just kind of more focused on that rather than focusing on negative feelings. Tomorrow I'm actually going rock climbing. It's an indoor rock climbing gym. So out of my comfort zone and something I never would have really thought to do. But since I've made like a new friend, I have like kind of talked with her about like wanting to do cool stuff this year. I'm like, I'm 30. I want to do fun things. I want to like just go on trips. I want to like enjoy my life. I want to take care of my body. I just have all these aspirations now that felt hopeless before. And so like being able to go rock climbing, that is so cool. And that's something that just would not have happened before. ADHD definitely presents different in women. For me, it was always overly ambitious, working all the time, constantly busy, but I don't know if I was even really doing anything. Overachiever, got in trouble at school for finishing my work too quickly and then going on to like other things I wanted to do because I was always so bored. I also had a short fuse, and I think it was because like I don't know, like just small things would make me extremely mad. And I feel like I'm just kind of like, I don't sweat it now, you know, almost like it's no big deal. Like somebody cutting me off in traffic, I would cuss them for like a good 30 seconds. And I mean, it's like, you know, it is annoying, but like, it's not something that I need to get caught up in and I need to let ruin my day. So I've noticed that I've kind of like had more positive emotions, and that's kind of what Vyvanse does. It allows you to access more of that dopamine that you're missing out on. I'm also on Wellbutrin. You'll see that it's very common for doctors to prescribe Vyvanse and Wellbutrin together. So I have been on that combo for the last 6 months. I would say I was in a constant cycle of overworking myself to try to like be productive, and it was such a struggle. And then I would burn out, and then burnout for me looked like really depressed, would lay in the bed just all day long, just sitting in the dark. And I knew that it wasn't healthy or positive, but I could not figure out why that was like what I felt compelled to do. It was because I did not like feel like I had any real balance. Like I was trying to do too much, but I also didn't have the capability to even really think through what I was trying to do. And so I've noticed now, like I actually set more boundaries around my work. Like I'm kind of doing like the Monday through Friday thing, which is weird because I'm a business owner, which means that I feel a compulsion every day to check like my stats, like my YouTube stats, my sales, all of that stuff. I feel extremely compelled to know, but at the same time, it's like, what is 2 days worth of data really gonna do? Well, I'm gonna sit at my computer probably for 30 minutes to an hour looking at it, and then I'm going to miss out on spending time with Daniel, or spending time with my dogs, or exercising, or meditating, or going for a walk. So it has allowed me to see like everything cannot be important. And if everything is not important, then you have to kind of decide what's important. So I guess in terms of like figuring out task management, it's helped me to kind of be like, this is an A priority, B priority, C priority. If you're ADHD, you need to read the book Eat That Frog this is like a manual for us. Like, you need to just internalize it, because even though the medicine helps me function, I still get scatterbrained sometimes. I still feel like maybe I'm like trying to do too much in a day, and then I'll start getting stressed out, and this medicine will make your heart beat faster. So you're like, oh my God, I'm having a panic attack. But really, it's like, you probably just didn't eat. That's something that I've really found hard. I'm sitting here right now like trying to eat oatmeal. I don't really feel like I want to eat as much on it. So one strategy I've tried is to just eat higher calorie things like nuts, because they're, you can eat a small handful of them and you get like 200 or 300 calories at a time. And so I'm kind of snacky. I sit down every Sunday to plan my week. That helps me know what I'm going to be needing to focus on. I will say, if you start doing something on this medication and it's not something you originally intended to focus on, you might get lost in it, because the focus is so strong that you forget everything else that you were supposed to do. So I really have to make a deliberate effort to not get caught up in things. I find myself saying like, okay, you gotta stop this train before it starts, rolling off the tracks, because once it does, it's really hard to come back. There are parts of my business that are very boring but necessary, like my spreadsheets. And now I just feel like I'm laser focused. I'm like, okay, let's just get it done. Like, I just want to do it, have it over with, and not worry about it. So before, there would be that sense of dread, and I would put it off, and I would feel like, I don't want to do this. But now it's like, you have to do it, just hurry up and do it. And so I get things done faster, and I get them out of my head faster. So when it comes to getting distracted, I use timers a lot. I use just the basic iPhone timer to set like 30 minutes or an hour. I have an appointment that I'm supposed to be at in about 30 or 45 minutes, but I was like, I gotta get this video out. And so I was like, let me set a timer for like when I need to start recording, and then I'm gonna set a timer for when I need to leave the house. And I know that sounds kind of like, I don't know, like kind of weird, but like, if you start doing that, you won't miss as much. I would schedule something for me, like I've scheduled like a massage before and missed it because I just forgot about it. And so sitting down to plan my week has probably been the best like use of my time. As a person who has ADHD, we really have to like zero in on what exactly it is that we're doing. And I think that this medicine really helps me in terms of like being able to see that more clearly. I felt a lot less hopeless. Like, I felt on this medicine, like I feel like I can function like everybody else. I don't know how everybody else gets through the day, but for me, not on the medicine, I got through the day by waiting for the day to be over. Like, I would seriously just like be like, okay, in a couple hours I can go to sleep. Like, that's not good. Like, that means you don't want to exist. I don't feel like that anymore. I actually get to the point sometimes where I'm like, I am so lucky, I'm so grateful. Like, you just have a lot more clarity for your life, and I feel like that makes you execute on tasks better. That's actually allowed me to get, some other things done that, like, around the house, like big projects that I before was like, I don't want to take that on. I feel like that's just going to be so much. I've actually been able to take on those bigger projects. The side effects that were negative for me were like having dry mouth, and then in the beginning I couldn't sleep, but that has worn off, and so now I really don't feel like I have any real negative impactful side effects. Just have a lot of energy and just have a lot of ambition, and I've always had that ambition, but I did not seem to execute on a lot of it, and then it would lead to me feeling bad about myself. And so I guess the medicine for me has kind of gave me a new like perspective on what I'm going to be able to accomplish. Like, I'm 30, I'm like thinking like, okay, what can I do by like age 40? What's my life plan? Like, a lot of things that before I just could not like access, I'm able to take care of everything and balance everything. Before, I would not be able to focus on more than one thing a month. So like, I would set goals. So for instance, I've got fitness, relationship, personal self-improvement, business. Okay, so I would really have to pick one. Like, I couldn't do 4 different things because I was like, I just have to have a theme for this month. Otherwise, I'm just not, I won't be able to do it. My brain couldn't switch gears. Being able to work without burnout and without like dread is so nice. And I will take this medicine as long as I can. I notice on the days where I don't take it, I'm still me, so I don't have any side effects even then. Like, I know some people are very worried about like what could happen if you get a shortage. This medication is in high demand, and it's very likely that at some point I won't be able to get it for a week or two. I've dealt with that before, and I just kind of make sure that I know how I feel off of it, but I know that I feel better on it. If I do wake up late in the day, like on a weekend, I won't take it, because if I've woken up at like 10 or 11, I normally wake up at like 7 or 8, so I just won't take it. Otherwise, I feel like I won't sleep. The other thing I wanted to mention is coffee. If you drink caffeine all day, you might want to cut back on that when you first start taking this, and you probably won't even want it anymore, except for the fact that it's a habit for you. So I would recommend getting some decaf so that you could keep your habit but not have that caffeine, because that may lead to you getting anxiety, because you're going to be already like having energy, so the caffeine might like amp you up. I've actually read books, I've written pages and pages, I've explored ideas, like I've made plans, projects, all huge things, and I don't feel overwhelmed and burnt out. And I do think it's because of Vyvanse. So if you are like wondering about it, I would say try to find a doctor's office that is friendly to ADHD and understands it, because there's a lot of judgment around being on a stimulant. But trust me, when I was not on a stimulant, I was literally like in my bed with the covers pulled over me in the dark, like I can't do this. So I mean, it's either be on a stimulant or go back and forth between too much work and no work at all. So for me, I'll take Vyvanse as long as it benefits me. Hope that you guys enjoyed my take on my first 6 months of Vyvanse. I will probably do some more update videos about this, because it is a big deal to me to finally have this clarity and this energy and this focus for the first time in my life. I just want to keep improving and working on myself, and I want to make videos about things that interest me. So if you want, you can subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care.